Hello, and welcome to this episode of Cindy's Corners. We are talking about food tonight. We're taking a break from politics and a break from the headlines, and we're talking about something that unites us all, Jewish or non Jewish. Everybody loves to eat, especially quality foods. So sit back and welcome into my corner. Tonight, before we begin the show, I have to tell you that about a year ago, we started the show with about 100,000 listeners on 2 AM stations and a couple of podcast outlets. And in the past year, thanks to you, our wonderful audience, we have grown. We are now on an FM station in the tri state area. We are now on more podcast outlets than ever before. So people are actually contacting us directly internationally about the show. And I am very happy to say that starting next Saturday night and next Sunday, depending on where you are around the United States, we are going to be heard on multiple, and I mean a lot of AM and FM stations in the Midwest, and of course in the tri-state area. And for those who can't reach us because they're not within the zone, you still have that option of listening to us internationally by downloading us, whether or not it's through iHeartRadio or Spotify, Apple and Google Podcast, of course, out of Israel through Jewish Podcast, the Talkline Radio Network. We're going to be on Real Talk Radio. And of course, the latest episodes are always found on Cindy's Corners. The show is totally revamped. We are going to be called the Cindy Gross Show. And I want to thank you all for recognizing me as the premier voice for Jewish American women. Apparently, there has been nobody else who's been as outspoken as I have as a Jewish woman, conservative activist. But that doesn't mean we're not having Democrats. That doesn't mean that I don't welcome debate. And that doesn't mean I'm going to have on guests from the Republican Party that I don't necessarily agree with. That means we are going to have intelligent discussions and audience participation like never before. So I have to thank you for all of your support, all of your love, and I can't wait to do this journey with you. Follow me on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Facebook, and on Instagram for all of the updates. We have a very, very, very exciting first guest. I'm going to share that news midweek because I want to focus in on our show. So sit back and stay tuned. Welcome back to Cindy's Corners. I'm your host, Cindy Gross, and I promised you the best today of food and wine. And I have to tell you, as somebody who travels and who has a big Jewish and non-Jewish following, one of the questions I am asked when people want to come into New York is, where can they get the best steaks? Well, I have a secret for you. Our next guest is going to be able to share the best of kosher meats all over the country. So you don't have to call me to ask that where in New York you have to go to which restaurant. You can now have it in the luxury of your own home or any setting. Elliot Moskowitz is the founder and CEO of a very, very luxurious meat company that packages programs, whether or not it's for two people or for huge families who are planning Passover programs. And he also has last minute Purim Shalach Mano packages. So, Elliot, thanks for joining Cindy's Corners and tell everybody a little bit about your company and your products.
Thank you, Cindy, for having me. It's a pleasure to be on this show and an honor. So I started this company a few years ago when we lived in Brussels because it was very difficult to get kosher meat when we were living there, and we made a cooperative in France and to do that. So I look and say, why can't we do this in a similar way? No matter if you're living in a major metropolitan area or a small city, you should be able to get your meat delivered. So we spent the last couple of years building this, the infrastructure, getting the best quality meat, and we have that now. prairiestreetprime.com is our website. And you could go on there, order, and within 3 business days, you will receive your meat, whether it be at your ski resort, at your condo, at your house, or in a little town. It doesn't matter. We have the whole United States covered for you.
So you actually answered the next question. I purposely didn't announce the name of the company because many people would think a kosher meat company would have a real Jewish sounding name, but it's called Prairie Street. How did you get that name? And it's probably a great story there because it's not a name that's really affiliated with Orthodox Jews or kosher food.
Correct. So I believe there's a general trend in the last 20 years that the religious Jews want to have the same quality experience as the non-religious or the people that aren't Jewish. You've seen that trend in wine, in high-end kosher restaurants in major metropolitan areas. And now with COVID and everything, people are cooking more and more at home. That's the intimate experience. Bring some friends over, have something special. So I came up with the name. I actually worked many months on the name, and I wanted to display or focus on several areas. Number one, super high quality. So today in the kosher market, in the major metropolitan areas, you don't really have primarily butcher stores like when we grew up. You have supermarkets that have a meat section and have taken that over. So the Prairie Street was more to be like artisan, authentic, to give you those images of having wholesome, non-processed, very high quality product. And prime has a special connotation in the meat world. Prime in the USDA, we're governed by the USDA, the United States Department of Agriculture, and that enables us to ship all over the country. But USDA prime meat means that it's been graded by the government, similar to a woman, I'm not an expert in the area, would go into a store to buy a diamond, you have perfect, you have the different levels. So less than 5% of all beef in the United States is USDA prime. So when we say our products are prime, it's not because a marketing manager said, hey, this looks like a beautiful piece of meat. The key word is USDA. So USDA prime, we have that program. That's the quality of product that we have. Prairie Street Prime.
Elliot, I was going to ask you, tell us some of the packages you have, because a lot of my listeners are still gathering last minute Purim Suda planning and also some business shalach manot. And one thing about your company is you actually ship out and we can get it in time for Purim. Tell us some of the packages you have.
So we have, first of all, our packaging is magnificent. We spent a year alone just on the boxes and the design and food safety integrity issues. So when you get it, it's perfectly frozen, just like when we sent it from a quality perspective. So we have packages where you could buy, you could make a custom package. You could say, I want to put a tomahawk steak, I want to put a lamb rack, I want to put some veal chops, mix and match. And then later we're programming, we'll be ready very shortly to have gifting, because what do you get? It's not only for Purim, what do you get your Jewish client or vendor or associate or colleague that might be wealthy but has everything they need? The best kosher meat on the planet. And that's what we offer from a gifting perspective, that it comes beautifully packaged. They love the product. The interior packaging is cryovac and tight. It looks first class because it is first class from beginning to end.
What kind of meats do you have?
So we cover 3 prime areas. Within beef, we have the high-end products. So we have a prime line, which is what I described before, less than 5%. We have a high choice line, which is one step below, but extremely high quality. And we'll be introducing actually tomorrow our dry age line, which we have, that we've set up a dry age facility, and we have 28-day dry age meat as well. Then we have beef, and we have lamb, and we have veal as well. We sell an enormous amount of lamb racks, lamb chops. I've served them to many non-Jewish billionaires, and pretty much we're known for having some of the best lamb and veal chops in the country, whether you eat kosher or not.
You're getting me hungry just listening to you.
It's a
And
common problem, and we're gonna have to get you a box after this call to sample yourself.
absolutely. Elliot, quick question. What is the price ranges?
They're expensive. They're expensive. They range, it really depends on the quality of the product and what the product is, but the quality matches the price. So like a car, it's a difference whether you buy a Honda Accord, you're buying a Lexus, you're buying an Alfa Romeo. The main thing that I obsess about and work 24 hours a day for the last 2 years is consistent quality. No one's calling me and saying, well, Cindy's on the phone, let's get her a good package. We have an enormous amount of inventory. Once it's in our inventory system, it's perfect. And I have no idea which package someone's going to get. It's picked, it's fulfilled, and it's sent. And our quality matches our prices.
Well, one thing we found with COVID, and like you said, so many people are cooking at home, people have picked quality over quantity. So you are actually involved in one of the top 3 food trends that is ongoing now. You see it in the uh, products being purchased. You see it in the increase of cooking shows and the quality they're using. And people decided that they want healthy and better. So Elliot Moskowitz, we at Cindy's Corners will be featuring the offering the packages and helping out our audience purchase the goods. And we look forward to having you back before Passover. And again, just tell everybody the website.
The website is prairiestreetprime.com, but I also like to give a quick plug that we do provide original content every Sunday at 2 p.m. on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Prairie Street Prime. I direct, produce these. We have professional chefs. We have more than 40 videos up already. We show our products, any method you want to use, traditional cooking, instant pot, smoker, grill, it doesn't matter. We have you covered. Please join our community, and we'll be translating our videos in 2 weeks in French and Hebrew as well.
Well, thank you so much for joining Cindy's Corners.
Thank you so much for having me, and I look forward to speaking with you again. Have a great day.
Welcome back to Cindy's Kosher Corner. This week featuring the best in food and wine. And of course, we're welcoming back our favorite wine connoisseur and somebody who I am so excited that I'm going to see Tuesday. We finally have back our Kosher Food and Wine Expo, the best experience of kosher wines that everybody talks about and is looking forward to. Gabe Geller of Royal Wine Corporation is here with us to tell us the latest about what is going on in the world of kosher wines, because you don't have to be Jewish to enjoy them.
It's true. It's a pleasure to be with you again on the show. I'm very excited. I'm very excited because you know what? Tomorrow, March 1st, is the Kosher Food and Wine Experience back in person. KFWE is back in person tomorrow. It's KFWE New York, but playing, you know, it's like the Giants and Nets, and we are playing in New Jersey this year. It will be at the Hilton at the Meadowlands in New Jersey, East Rutherford, and it's going to be a VIP experience. You know, usually the KFWE has separate sessions with separate rooms for general admission and VIP. This time it's a full VIP experience. And what does that mean? It means that the food is going to be executed by 2 incredible chefs. We have Chef Gabe Garcia from Tierra's Restaurant at Herzog Wine Stores in California.
The very best restaurant for kosher food around the world, hands down.
Exactly.
Everybody agrees.
Exactly. So he's coming east, and together with catering by Michael Schick, arguably the best kosher caterer in the country, if not in the world, is going to execute that menu. And he's not alone. He's not alone. There is also award-winning chef from Zahav Restaurant in Philadelphia. Did I lose you?
No.
No.
No, you didn't lose us. Continue on. Tell us about the second great chef, because honestly, this chef is like highlighted everywhere, not just in the Jewish world, but for his award-winning recipes for everything.
Yep. So A-list chef Michael Solomon, multiple James Beard Award winner from Zahav Restaurants in Philadelphia, is joining us this year. He joined us last year for the KFWE, the KFWE virtual, and this time he's joining us in person with an exclusive menu for the show, and it's going to be absolutely incredible. I think it's very symbolic because Zahav Restaurant is not a kosher restaurant. He does not play usually in the kosher world, but he's joining us because it's absolutely compatible. He's an amazing chef making amazing food, and is going to showcase that his skills and his menu is 100% compatible with the kosher requirements and our amazing selection of kosher wines. And people are going to be absolutely amazed by the quality, the diversity, and the innovative and creative that are to cook for us, and amazing wines that are going along. So it's going to be amazing food by amazing chefs that are going to pair together with our incredible selection of food. You tell me when to.
So
Okay.
how we still have a few tickets left. I know we put away a few tickets for Cindy's Corners followers. How can people get tickets to the big experience on Tuesday?
Okay, so here you go. I really hope that those tickets have not been sold, so that your followers can still get in. So you go on KFWE.com for your tickets, and you use promo code KWSE for $10 off the ticket. And it gets better than that. If you want to come with your friends, get together, a nice group. There is great discounts for groups of 8 to 11, 12 to 19, and then 20 and plus people, and that can make a big difference. So to give you an example, if you are 20 plus people booking a group ticket, it's going down to $187 per ticket instead of $250. So that's a very significant discount. So hopefully we have that many tickets, if a group of your followers would like to join us. And I'm really looking forward to the event. I'm looking forward to see everyone tomorrow. And it's going to be absolutely a blast.
So, of course, last year was virtual. I'll just tell everybody. But previous years, when it was on, the last one they really had, you couldn't get into it. Everybody who was anybody was there. You had so many celebrities, comedians, actors, actresses. It went well beyond the kosher community because people like quality, which is why Royal Wines is considered the #1 international distributor of wines of all levels. And we're going to be talking about next. People are doing last minute Purim. They're thinking about sudas and shalak manat baskets. And I'm going to tell you my shalak manat basket this year. I am putting in a bottle of royal wine and I'm giving it with a variety of grapes. So I have my fruits in it. And I am going to put in a hamantash and a donation because I know so many people, especially of my age range, we want the mitzvah shalak manat, but we don't want all the candy around that ends up going in the garbage. And everybody needs wine. They need it for Shabbos. And of course, if they're like me, they like a little, a glass of wine every night. It just is so relaxing and smooth and calming after a busy day. So now that I told everybody my shalak manat, tell us some of the trends for Purim from Royal Wines.
Okay, so what's big right now, especially for shalak manos, is those half bottles, 375 milliliter bottles of wine, and also wines in a can. That's really, really hot for shalak manos. And we really saw that demand and the interest from our customers, and we added many wines to that list of wines that are available in such a format. And you have amazing wines such as Chateau Le Croc from Bordeaux. We have wines such as Herzog Variations, Herzog Late Harvest. There is an incredible selection of wines available in 375 milliliter, and the prices also vary. You have wines that start at around $10 to $15 for a little bottle, and up to even $50 for some very prestigious names. So there is really something for everyone. And as far as the cans are concerned, we started a couple of years ago with Bartonura Moscato in a can, which is incredible. And we added to that a few months ago the Moscato Rosato. So it's a Rosé Moscato in a can, which is delicious. And the cans are like so elegant. It's a very premium product. Really beautiful, a crowd pleaser, of course. And then we have J Folk from South Africa, which has a rosé in a can, and now there is also a red wine in a can, and they have a line of ready-made cocktails in a can that are absolutely fantastic. So there's really a great selection for such wines. Now, if you want to do like a big basket and have a full bottles of wines, there's so much to choose from. But one of my favorites is the Herzog sparkling wine, the Herzog Méthode Champenoise, which is a sparkling wine made like champagne, but from California, made from 100% Chardonnay from the Russian River in Sonoma. And it's absolutely amazing. Comes in a beautiful gold and white can box. And it steals the show. It makes for an absolutely incredible Shalachmanos.
So I have to be honest with you. Since we started working together, I have really turned to the Baron Herzog, the selection, the select line, and made in America right now is so important. And
absolutely,
I am so proud to have such great kosher wines here from the United States of America. So I'm giving out my Baron Herzog full bottles because I have never had a complaint from anybody whenever I've served them. And that Shalach Manot is going to be appreciated.
That's true. The Baron Herzog wines are amazing. It's great value. It's the best the best to come out of California at a very affordable price. They go between $10 to $12, $13 approximately per bottle. And there's a great selection of them, whether you like something that's just a little sweet, like the Baron Herzog Chenin Blanc, or something that's like more jammy, fruity, like the Baron Herzog Old Vine Zinfandel, or something, a little bit more traditional, so to speak, such as the Chardonnay or the Cabernet Sauvignon. There's really something to choose from for everybody. If you like white Zinfandel, Rosé, Sauvignon Blanc, there's so many varieties available in that line, and it's really a great bang for your buck.
So, of course, as we talk about Purim, I was in the supermarket yesterday, and Pesach is already fully displayed, every kind of food possible. And because of the economy and the fear that things will not be around, I'm telling everybody buy their non-perishables early. And I'm seeing actually online some of the people that you work with are already having special sales for Purim and Passover. What are some of the trends you see right now that people are buying, especially in bulk? Because, of course, during Passover, we drink a lot of wine.
That's right. So actually, that's the tendency, something that we've seen over the past couple of years following COVID. People are going for more high-end. We have the series, which is above Baron Herzog lineage, that's extremely popular. There's a fantastic Pinot Noir from Clarksburg, California, Cabernet Sauvignon from Paso Robles. There's a great selection there, and those wines are still very much affordable, but they're a little bit more perhaps prestigious, if you could use that word. They retail between $15 to $20, so it's still very much affordable. and really great value for money. And that's something that people buy by the case, really, because those are wines that are that can age for a few years even. So you don't have to worry about, oh, what if I'm not going to finish all the wines I bought for Pesach. Well, don't worry about it. You can drink it for Shabbat. You can drink it for Shavuot. You can drink it for Rosh Hashanah. You can drink it next year for Pesach. So that's not something to worry about. And there are great deals to have now before Pesach. That's really the hot time of the year, with retailers having incredible sales.
So you're going to be back before Passover. We're going to talk about all the brand new wines, the brand new alcohols, because every year, of course, there's always a brand new vodka or a hot tequila. And we're going to talk it all. We're going to share it all. Anybody listening, of course, can reach out to me directly or to Royal Wine. And of course, before we close, once again, please share the information. There is still plenty of time to order tickets and come to the Kosher Food and Wine Experience in New Jersey, Tuesday, March 1st. Please share with everybody where they can get the tickets.
KFWE.com. Use code KWSE for $10 off, and try to get a group of friends together so you can get an even bigger discount with our group discounts. All the information is available on KFWE.com.
And if they can't get it through there, or if they're stuck, they could always go on Zeb Brenner's Talkline Network, where this show is airing. And I know he has it also. We're going to be sharing it. You can contact me directly through my social media outlets, and we're going to make sure that everybody shares this incredible experience, because whatever you always produce, it's always done with such class and elegance, and it makes kosher proud. Gabriel Geller.
It's going to blow your mind this year. You will see.
Gabriel Geller, Royal Wines. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, Cindy.
Take care. Welcome back to this very special episode of Cindy's Corners. It's so much fun. We're talking about kosher food, kosher wine, upcoming holidays, and of course, the #1 kosher event, the Kosher Food and Wine Experience, taking place this week. And I have to be honest with you, why I'm talking about all of this. There's something very serious in my mind as a Jew, as an American, as somebody who reads the newspapers and follows the media outlets on a daily basis. And that, of course, is what's happening in Ukraine. Let's face it, I'm not here to give you a history lesson. You could do the research yourself. It is no secret about the Jewish history in both Russia and Ukraine. And during the previous administration, it's no secret that we had a great relationship with the Ukrainian people. And we were proud of having, and we still are proud of having, a Jewish president in the Ukraine. And that many of us have ties to the Ukraine if we go journey yearly to the Uman, Erev Rosh Hashanah, or we know friends that do. Or we are friends with people who live in the United States that are from the Ukraine, that are now thriving in America. But now we are seeing our Jewish brothers and sisters, the targets of rising anti-Semitism. They are having troubles getting food. They are having problems living on a day-to-day routine basis because they are Jewish and they are in the Ukraine. Of course, Israel has stepped up and has brought thousands already to Israel to make Aliyah. And once again, always taking the lead. We thank them and we support them in whatever ways we can, whether or not it's giving charity or volunteering. But I look at the situation and I ask myself, am I any different than my parents or grandparents who were in America during the 1940s, during the Holocaust, when people who I know had families who were in the Ukraine at that time and in Germany, in concentration camps, or standing by ditches getting shot? The American Jews were helpless then, according to many. They really could not do much. They didn't have the help of their Democratic president. And I know I said tonight's show wasn't going to be political, but anti-Semitism is a nonpartisan issue that needs bipartisan support. And I don't hear many people on the left talking about saving innocent Jews. I don't see many people on the left in the Biden administration who call out Donald Trump all the time as being an anti-Semite, doing anything to help the situation. In fact, I think they've made it worse because their silence speaks volumes. Even the fact that there is now a huge Democratic congressional team in Israel talking about supporting Israel, what are they really, really doing to stop the anti-Semitism in the United States? We are the targets of hate more than anybody else, even the Asians. And yet it's allowed. And you know what? I actually blame a lot of American Jews who support these people, these Democrats, and they allow it to happen. And yes, we do have some anti-Semitism on the right, and I've called those people out, but it's not nearly what is going on the left. And let's face it, most of it is coming in cities run by Democrats. Most of it's coming from states that are run by Democrats. So we have to really take a look at ourselves and say, as American Jews, while we're talking about celebrating Purim and Passover and luxury foods, we have to really ask ourselves what we can do to make sure what's going on to the Ukrainian Jewish brothers and sisters we have doesn't happen here, because it happened in Germany, it happened in France. You know the stories. I don't have to give you a history lesson, like I said. But what are we going to do to make sure that we are safe in America? So the next time you have that steak or that wine, have a discussion about it as well. And let's see what we could do together. And I'd love to hear from you. You're my audience, you're my followers, and we are a team together, Jewish and proud. As we close this chapter of the Cindy's Corners radio experience, I want to share with you the most talked about, followed up interview of the first year of our show. And that is the one with actor George Andrakios, who is a non-Jewish actor, Zionist, who shared a story with us about how his family saved Jews in Greece and why he is so pro-Israel. We had so much response to this interview that I felt, especially during these times, it has to be told again and again. So many Jewish organizations reached out to me directly, especially those tied to Holocaust education. So join us next week on the Cindy Gross Show. Follow along on social media for all the updates. And I look forward to seeing you next week and in the future with many, many exciting interviews, lots of headline news, lots of trends. And just remember, we're Jewish and proud. Welcome back to Cindy's Celebrity Corner. I am your host, Cindy Gross, and I'm super excited to have with us one of the stars of the brand new film, I Love Us. And he is also somebody who works behind the scenes, and he's here to discuss the new movie and some other projects he's working on. Welcome to the show, George Andrakios. I hope I said that right.
Andriakos, close.
Andriakos, close. Okay.
It's a Greek name, Cindy. Thank you for having me on your show. I really appreciate
You
it.
want me to start it again? I could do that. I'm
It's
going to
up to
start
you.
it again. I'm going to start it again. Welcome back to Cindy's Celebrity Corner. I am your host, Cindy Gross, and joining us now is the star of the brand new film, I Love Us, and he's here to discuss the movie, other projects he's working on, both in front and behind the camera. George Andrakios, please tell us all about the movie.
Well, Cindy, thank you for having me on the show. I'd like to tell you a little bit about the movie. It's called I Love Us. And what it is this character named Sammy, who likes to leave a life of crime behind him after he meets a single mom, falls in love with her, and wants to create a new life for himself. So he's got quite a few challenges ahead of him.
And who do you play in the movie?
So I play Lorenzo. I am head of security for a wealthy person who has quite a really, really unique collection of paintings. And I don't want to give the story away, but that's my role.
And who's co-starring with you?
Okay, so we have a wonderful lineup of people. I actually had to make notes because I don't want to leave anybody out. So I'm just going to go through a ton of names. The talent in this film is just unbelievable. Danny Abicasser, who's also the director, is the star in the film. Katie Cassidy, if you remember David Cassidy from the Partridge Family, well, Katie Cassidy's daughter is actually leading the movie here. We have Jasper Polish, Harlow Jane, which is Patricia Arquette's daughter, and if you know that, she's an actress now as well. David James Elliott from JAG.
Mm-hmm.
A good friend of mine, Robert Davi.
I love Robert Davi.
He's great. The Goonies. I mean, that's a classic. But I worked with Robert actually in Mobtown, and that was another great film by Danny Abicasser. Jackie Cruz, she's from Orange is the New Black. James Matteo, which I've worked on another film with James. Elia Baskin. Greg Finley, another great, great actor. Courtney Lopez, who is Mario Lopez's wife, the presenter for all the shows. Christian George, and a good friend of mine, Diana Madison. So these are
Wow, what a lineup. I mean, I'm so glad that you joined us because the movie really just came out. Tell us a little bit how you got involved, because this is not the first time you've worked with the director of the movie.
Correct. So Danny Abicasser, who besides being an amazing, amazing, talented actor, not because he's from Brooklyn like me, but he's just a talented actor. He's also a great director. And what I love about working with Danny Abicasser is that he doesn't have you stick to the lines. There's some other directors that really want you to stick to the lines, but he gets the best out of you by just getting an understanding of what the character is supposed to be and where we're going with the story, and allow you to improvise and say things that would come out more natural and more believable. Danny Abicasser, the director, reached out to me. He says, hey, I'd love for you to play head of security Lorenzo. You got the demeanor for it, and I think it would work well. And I said, I'm always on board to work with Danny. He's just a dynamite person to work with, be around, even when the cameras are not on. It's just a barrel of laughs to be around. So I love working with Danny, and pretty much most of the people that he casts, or the team that he hires to cast, are all just dynamite people. These people here that I worked with are just unbelievable people. Nobody's got a chip on their shoulder. Everybody's just down to earth. We have a great time, and this is how you get a great product and a good film.
I'm sure that you all will keep up after this, as you're now going to be promoting the film nationally. Let me ask you a question. You also have an entertainment company. You've kept busy during COVID.
Yes. So COVID has been a little tough for anyone in the entertainment company as well as the film industry. We had a little setback, obviously, because people were a little nervous about hosting events and congregating in large groups. But recently, I think as of May and June, things have kind of opened up again. So yeah, my entertainment company, I've been doing this for well over 2 decades. I come from a family of wedding professionals. My mom was actually the quality control manager for the original Mr. Kleinfeld.
Oh, wow.
Kleinfeld would just say yes to the dress, which every bride knows, and mom who watches that show. And she was on board with them for over 30 years. And my dad was a musician, and that's how I got into this whole entertainment thing. And I used to work for my dad in a band. And then I created a DJ entertainment and decor company for weddings, corporate events, and finer social events all over the tri-state area, Florida, California, and we've traveled to Europe as well, Italy. So doing this for quite some time.
So you started to talk a little bit here about your parents and your background, how you got into acting and your love of music, but you actually have a very interesting story about your grandparents. And I am a family member of Holocaust survivors, still alive actually. And what impressed me about wanting you to come on the show was when I saw your Instagram and you shared the blue box that was honoring the idea of ending anti-Semitism. And very few non-Jews did that. So tell us why that was important for you to share publicly.
Well, I would hate to say this, but shame on those people that don't share anti-Semitism. I feel very strongly about it. I do come from a family which I've never really publicly told the story. You're actually going to be the first one to kind of hear the story. And my grandparents being of Sparta, from Sparta, Greece, actually I'm of Greek descent. And many Jews don't know, but there was a time where there was Jews that, had to hide obviously from the Nazis and actually entered Greece. Many of them actually stayed in the northern part of Greece, but there was also Jews that went down south, and that's where I'm from, down south of Sparta. Not too many, but a few did. And my grandparents, actually my grandfather was one that actually having 9 kids in a small home, he took it upon himself to even hide another few, a Jewish family, a few Jews in his home as he saw Nazis coming down all the way through the mainland and Sparta and other parts of Greece. And it was, my dad told me the story, and it was horrible when he told me, because I was younger, but he showed me a bruise mark that was left on his backside, on his lower backside, from a Nazi that actually picked him up when he was a boy playing ball outside and kicked him with a steel toe boot and told him "Sprechen," which my dad told me in German means speak. And I'm sorry, I'm getting choked up talking about this. And literally kicked my father probably several feet. That's how hard he was kicked, and he felt the pain. He was wanting my dad to speak. Where are they? Where are they hiding? And my dad was instructed by his dad to never say anything about who's where or whereabouts. So there was also so that comes to me from loving the Jewish people and the Jewish community. I've always embraced, and because my dad was a musician, he used to do a lot of weddings for Jews and Greek Jews who actually embraced the Greek culture, living in Greece, but didn't forget their Jewish heritage and still followed their culture and traditions, but embraced speaking Greek. And then they migrated to the United States, and my dad would entertain their weddings. And we used to do all the horas and the Hava Nagila, all the traditional songs. And they loved my dad. And, I grew up, loving Jewish people, and, I entertained bar mitzvahs and, Jewish weddings, and I love doing them. I have one coming up actually in a couple of weeks. So
we break plates at our Jewish weddings too.
Of course, you break the glass, you break the plates. We love breaking things because we have fun. We love life. We celebrate life. And
this summer, I have to tell you, everything, if I had one place I wanted to be, everybody I know was going to Greece, having the best time, the pictures, the scenes, the food, the drink, everybody. It's right now it's trending. So
yeah, yes. And what we do, you noticed, I don't know on social media, but there was a lot of Jews, Israelis especially, that were in Greece vacationing. And Greeks love having the Israelis and all the Jews in Greece, and we love them. And we dance in circles, and we just have a blast. And there's a lot of history,
Maybe that could be a project with you and Danny the next time.
Listen, you never know.
Something together.
Absolutely, you never know.
But back to this project, I Love Us. Where can our listeners see the movie?
So based on, from what I understand, there's going to be a limited release in theaters, and then it's going to be on various digital platforms. I don't have all the platforms at the moment, but I'm sure it'll be on Amazon and all various platforms. I can't get specific into that because I don't have concrete info on that quite yet.
And where can our listeners find out more about you?
Well, they can check me out on Instagram, George, middle initial V, Andriakos. They can check me out there. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter, on IMDb. If you're a business person, you want to find me on LinkedIn. I'm on pretty much all the social media platforms. They can find me there. Just Google my name and find me.
So George V. Andriakos. I hope I got that right.
You
because
got it.
I am so bad with names. I really appreciate you coming on, especially this is the time the movie is actually premiering. I couldn't
Yes.
be happier. And I know that you were helping out. We were on the phone talking. You're going around promoting the movie. So
Yes.
thank you for taking the time to join Cindy's Celebrity Corner, and please come back anytime.
Thank you for having me, Cindy. It was an absolute pleasure, and I wish you lots of luck on your show. Continued success.
Thanks.